is the topic that we will have to discuss here is the kinematics, so description of motion and motion of falling objects. So we have here the distance and displacement. So let me say if motion may be described as a specific how far something has traveled in changing position and time, so the total path traversed by an object moving by one location to another is known as the distance. So yun po, from one location to another is the distance, while the displacement is separation of the object and the reference point known as the displacement. So displacement is the something na mayroong yung degree, mga ganun. North, east, south, east, ganun. So distance is a scalar vector which has only magnitude. Displacement is a vector quantity which has both magnitude and direction. So those are the difference between the distance and the displacement. So the next definition that we'll have here is the speed and velocity. So the motion of an object can only be there described. The next we have here is the speed. The speed is the rate which distance covered at a given time. So it's also the measure how fast something is moving is known. So that is the speed. Meron tayong tinatawag na instantaneous speed. So kapag sinabi natin instantaneous speed, example nito is instant from the word itself, instant speed. So makikita nyo sa inyong mga motor, tsaka sa inyong mga sasakyan, di ba mayroon dong yung gumagalaw na pag mabilis, tumataas din. Yung iba digital, yung iba yung may parang sa relo. Tapos kapag bumabagal, ay bumababa din siya. Let's consider as the speedometer of the car or the vehicle. Let's consider as the instantaneous speed. So instant speed from the word itself. The average speed na tinatawag natin dito is the distance traveled divided by the total time elapsed in traveling that distance. So average speed is equal to, or d sub prime or d bar is equal to the distance traveled, that's as the meter, and the total time elapsed, the unit is s. So it says the d sub 2 minus d sub 1, that's or delta d over the t sub 2 minus t sub 1 or delta t, para tong slope. So when an object gains speed at a constant rate, the average speed can be calculated basis on two speeds. So kapag meron kang dalawang speed na tinatawag the initial and the final speed, or yung BI, B sub I is the initial while the B sub M is the final. So i-add mo lang siya 10 divided by 2. So these are yung mga important mga formula. So when the direction is associated with the speed, you will have a quantity that is also known as the velocity. So kapag yung speed ay meron ng initial at meron ng final, then meron din siyang time that is also known as the speed. The velocity rather. So yun yung tinatawag natin. So yung speed is just only gaano kabilis. Pero pag sinabi natin gaano kabilis per seconds or per hour, that is a velocity with the time. With the given time. So yun pa yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. So the sample problem we have here is Rachel watches a thunderstorm from her window. She sees the flash of lightning bolt and begins counting the seconds until she hears a clap of thunder 5 seconds later. Assume that the speed of the sound in air is 340 meters per second and the light was seen instantaneously. How far away was the lightning bolt? So, the given in the problem, if you're able to solve this, magkakaroon tayo dito na. Given natin as the average speed or the average velocity or the velocity itself, which is 340 meter per second. So, the velocity is always with the meter per seconds. Then, change in time, or time is equal to 5 seconds. You have to remember, kapag velocity, meter per second, kapag time is seconds, kapag distance is meter. So, ang hinahanap natin dito is we have to find delta D or D itself. So, solution, we are going to use the delta D is equal to V times delta T. So, saan siya galing? Galing siya sa, wait lang. Galing siya sa formula na V is equal to delta D over delta T. So, since we are getting for the distance, multiply lang po dito. Kaya nagkaroon ka ng delta D is equal to the velocity times the time. So, is equal to, magkaroon tayo dito ng 340 times 5. So, your delta D or distance is equal to what? What is 340 times 5? 21. Ang calculator. 1,700. So, okay. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 1,700. The unit that we will have is meter. Okay na? Question? Okay. Nakopya mo ba? Let's go now with the sample number 2. With the sample number 2, sabi dito, is a car start from rest and attains the speed of 15 meters per second in 15 seconds. So, how far has the car traveled in 15 seconds? So, nakalagay dito, a car start from rest. Rest means 0. So, attain the speed of 15 meters per second in 15 seconds. So, the given that we will have is we have the initial velocity. Pag sinabi na initial velocity, yung start. Initial is equal to 0. And the final velocity or B sub F, yung from 0 tapos tumigil siya hanggang natin niya yung speed na 50 hanggang sa tumigil siya. That will be 50 meter per second or 0 meter per second here. Then, magkakaroon tayo dito ng time which is equal to 15 seconds based on the given. Then, ang tanong natin dito is how far. Far is, we have to find for D, or delta D, or distance. Now, in solution, the formula going to use is D is equal to V times T. So, saan ulit siya galing? So, doon siya galing sa V is equal to D over T. So, ngayon, multiply doon kasi we're getting for the distance. Now, since meron tayong initial at meron tayong final velocity, gagamit tayo ngayon ng D is equal to, yung V, papalitan natin siya ng B sub I plus B sub F over 2. Ayan. Papalitan natin ito na B sub I plus B sub F over 2 times yung time. So, this will be equal to, the initial velocity natin ay 0 minus, not minus, 0 plus 50 over 2 times, karoon tayo dito ng 15. So, this will be equal to 0 plus 50 is 50 over 2 multiplied by 15. What will be the answer?
375.
So, magkaroon tayo dito ng 375 meters. So, let's continue. So, we will have here the changing acceleration, changing in velocity. So, the acceleration that we will have here is the formula is the change in V over the T sub 2 minus T sub 1 over, since we have the delta V, we can have now also the B sub F minus B sub I is over T. So, basta may initial at saka may final. The unit for the acceleration is meter per second squared. So, you have to remember, kapag bilang, that is a meter per second, that's per the velocity. Pero pag acceleration is meter per seconds. So, saan ba nakikita yung acceleration? Ito yung gaano ka bilis yung iyong car. Aside from the speed, you can also have the acceleration as how fast is your car. So, example natin, we have here Michael. Michael is driving his sports car at 30 meter per second when he sees a dog on the road, so road ahead. So, slam on brake and comes to stop in 3 seconds. So, what is the acceleration of Michael's car? So, from the word itself, acceleration mean accelerate, yun yung pataas. Tapos kapag naman pababa is decelerate. Deceleration. So, the given in this problem, the given natin dito, we have here the d sub I is equal to, or the initial velocity is 30 meter per seconds. So, based on here. Then, after that is since inapakan nyo yung kanyang brake. So, di ba pag inapakan yung brake, titigil yung sasakyan. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng final velocity which is 0 meter per seconds. Then, the time is equal to 3 seconds. Now, we are going to get for the acceleration. So, therefore, your A is equal to B sub F minus B sub I over the time. So, this will be equal to 30 minus the 30. It's 0. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 0 minus 30 over the 3 seconds. So, what is the acceleration? Anyone? This is meter per seconds. And this is seconds. What's the answer? 10? It's negative 10. So, negative 10 meter per second squared. That is the acceleration. Actually, this is not really the acceleration. This is yung kabaliran, the opposite. This is the deceleration. So, this is negative kasi tumatakbo siya ng mabilis tapos nag-stop siya ng brake. So, babagal yung kanyang sasakyan. That's why this is decelerate. So, from mabilis pabagal ng pabagal. That's why this is a negative. Then, for your V, meron tayong B sub F plus B sub I over 2 to get for the velocity. You can also have D over T as yung first equation. So, the third equation that we'll have is the acceleration, which is the final velocity minus the initial velocity over the time. Then, we can also manipulate the formula and able to use the D is equal to B times the T. Now, in deriving, kakaroon tayo ng another formula here. So, the important formula na kakaroon tayo dito is the equation number 5. D is equal to B sub I times T plus A sub T squared over T. So, given sa initial velocity, given ang time, plus the acceleration, and the time also over the 2. So, ayan po yan. You can also use to find for the distance, pwede din tayo gumamit ng df squared kapag given ang final velocity, ang initial velocity, at saka acceleration. So, yan. Those are the formula that we have to be able to use. Okay, basahin nyo na lang yan. Let's have the problem. So the problem here is Albert is riding his scooter at the velocity of 8 km per hour. When he sees an old woman crossing the road, 45 meters away, he immediately stepped hard on brakes to get the maximum acceleration of 7.5 meters per second squared. So how far he will go before stopping? Tapos ang question, mababangga ba niyo yung babae or yung woman? So what are the given here? Can you give some given? Therese, what are the given in this problem?
Yung 7.5 meter per second squared po is acceleration po.
Okay, so meron tayong acceleration which is equal to 7.5 meter per second squared. But we have to make this as negative. Why it's negative? Kasi stated on the problem that this is deceleration. Deceleration is negative. Pababa kasi siya. Kasi nag-step na naman siya sa kanyang nag-step na sa brake. Basta pinindot ko yung brake. Pinaref yung brake kasi scooter yung gamit eh. Another given, Nathan.
45 meters away, sir. Distance.
40 distance. Wait lang. Gamitin ba natin sa 45 meters? Kaso the question is, if we have the road is 45 meters away, tapos meron pa rin tayong question, how far he will go before stopping? Do you think are going to use this 45? Anyone? Tingin nyo ba, gagamitin natin yung 45 kung ang tanong is how far pa rin? So imagine the problem, ganito kasi yan. Si Albert daw ay nasa scooter, tapos meron siyang velocity na 80 km per hour. Then, nakita niya yung woman na tumatawid 45 meters na malayo sa kanya. Tapos, kung nakita niyo yun, di ba, pag nag-drive naman, so nag-drive kayo or nakasakay kayo sa unahan ng kotse, kung nakita kayo, di ba, nakatatawid, mag-step ng brake or mag-press ng brake. Tapos, syempre, mag-press ng brake, nagkaroon siya ng 7.5 meters per second na deceleration, babagal. Ang tanong sa kanya is, matatamaan niya ba yung babae? Or, tanong pala is, how far will he go before stopping? Gaano daw siya kalayo bago siya mag-brake? Do you think we're going to use the 45? Yes or no? Who said yes or said no? Wala. Ako na lang. Okay, so in this case, we will not be able to use the 45. Later pa natin siya gagamitin kasi yun ay ang question is for the last part. Really hit for the old woman. Okay, excuse me. So another given here is the do we have final velocity? What is our final velocity? Anyone? Nag-press ng brake, nagtapak ng brake, ano mangyayari kay final velocity? What is the value?
80 po.
So, ibig sabihin, pag tumatakbo ka, tapos bigla kang nag-press ng brake, di ba hihinto yung car? Anong takbo nun? 80 pa din?
Zero po.
It's zero. The final velocity will be zero kasi bababa nga siya eh. Now, what is our initial velocity? This is 80 km per hour. But our problem here is meter per seconds ang ating kailangan. So therefore, we need to have the conversion factor muna. In able to convert the given, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 80 km per hour times what? Ano sa taas? Since we're going to cancel the kilometer, what is our conversion factor? Magkakaroon tayo ng 1 kilometer is what? What is the value of kilometer to meter?
$1,000 po.
So we have 1,000 meter times 1 hour is equal to how many seconds? Hmm.
60 po. Ay,
60.
hindi pala.
Ang isang oras ay
Yes.
60 seconds. Ang isang minuto ay
Ito,
60 seconds. Tapos, ang isang oras ay ilan? Tama. Mag-aaral ko nga ng 60 times 60. What is 60 times 60? Pearl.
3,600 po.
Mag-aaral tayo ng 3,600. So, tandaan ha, ang isang kilometro ay 1,000 meter at ang isang oras ay 3,600 seconds. So, what is the final answer kapag ito? 80 kilometer times 1,000 divided by 3,600. Titigan na naman tayo at sana naman yung mga calculate nyo dyan. Times 1,000 divided by 3,600. We can have
22.22 po.
okay, so this is 22.22 meter per seconds. Kasi, ano tayo? Velocity na, that's meter per second. So, in this case, we have to find for D. Kasi based on the problem is how far. Solution. So, your D is equal to, since given na may given tayo acceleration, may given tayo final velocity, at may given tayo initial velocity, we're able to use the df squared minus bi squared over 2a. So, saan yan galing? Galing siya dito. Sa formula na yan. Okay, so magkakaroon tayo dito na what is our final velocity? That is 0 squared minus the initial is 22.22 squared over 2. What is our A? It's negative 7.5. Compute. What is the answer, Okado? 32 point? Okay, so the answer will be 32.92 meter. Okay, next is, we will have here a car was tailgating a truck. So, what is tailgating? Ito yung sumusunod sa car. Sa truck pala. One of the 3 passenger of the car noticed what driver was doing. So, and requested him to stop. If the initial velocity of the car from a certain position along an expressway was 60 km per hour and cover a distance of 5 km in 10 minutes before it stopped, what was the acceleration of the car? So, yan. What are the given in our problem? Can you give one? Pearl.
Ano po, initial velocity 60 km per hour po.
Okay, so the initial velocity is equal to 60 km per hour. Now, are we going to convert this?
Yes.
Yes, we have to convert this. So therefore, please convert the 60 km per hour lahat kayo ay mag-convert. Or lahat, para alam natin. In conversion, you're going to use 60 kilometer per hour times 1 kilometer, 1,000 times 1 hour, 8,600. What is the answer? Ay, sorry. Hindi ko pala ito na i-record. Kawawa naman sa shade. I-record na siya. Naomi, what is the answer?
16.66 po.
Rounded off?
67 po.
Okay. We're gonna have 16.67 meter per second as the initial velocity. Another given, Manzanero.
Ano po, sir? Distance po.
Distance. What is the distance?
5 kilometers po.
We're going to convert this. Yes or no? Oh, mga kababayan, kailangan ba natin ito i-convert o hindi?
Kailangan po.
5 kilometer times and what? So magkakaroon tayo dito ng 1 kilometer, 1,000 meter. Oh, what's the answer? Napakadali naman na rin answer na rin. Thank you, Paul. Loyola. Wala ka na namang IQ dyan. Ano, nagtitigan na naman tayo. What's the answer?
Wala po.
So we can have here 5,000 kasi 5 times 1,000 is 5,000 meter. Another given. Meron tayo. Yes, Nuga. What is our another given in the problem?
Sir, di ko alam.
Ay, naku.
Nalungkot po ko.
Mr. Torres. Sir, 10 po. 10. Ano yung 10 na yun? Itong 10 na to. This is time. So, 10. 10 minutes siya. Pero, do we need to convert? Kung 10 minutes, dami natin conversion na. Grabe. Yes, we need to convert kasi ang kailangan natin ay seconds. So, anong to convert natin? So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 10 minutes times, this is 1 minute. Ano sa taas? This is 60. Step. Okay, 60 seconds. So, what's the answer? 60. 10 times 60. Karoon tayo ng 600 seconds. Ano pa nawawala? Oh, let's examine again the problem. One of the 3 passenger cars noticed what the driver was doing and requested him to stop. Do we need to get for the if the initial velocity of the car ascertained along express 60 km per hour and covered 5 km in 10 seconds before stop, what was the acceleration of the car? So we need to find for A for the acceleration. Now, what is the formula we're going to use? Given ang initial velocity, given ang distance, given ang time. Kahit wala na yung final velocity kasi the final velocity is considered as 0 kasi mag-stop siya. So, since we're going to find for dA, the solution or the formula, ang kailangan natin gamitin ay panibagong formula na naman, which is T is equal to P sub I T plus AT squared over 2. Saan galing yan? Galing siya dito. Yan. Saan din siya galing? Ito yan. Equation number 5. So, how are we going to find for the right formula? Kailangan natin i-identify lahat ng given para magamit natin yung tamang formula. Yung kanina, given natin dito is acceleration, final velocity, at saka initial velocity. Kaya ginamit natin is bf squared minus bi over 2a. To find for the d. Dito, ano yun?
Ay. Di po.
Nagawa nyo. Oh, here we have here the given natin is the VI, the T, the D, and the T. So, and kailangan natin ng acceleration. So, ito yung gamitin natin. So, the distance, we will have this plug in. We have here 5,000. So, initial velocity is 16.67. The time is 600 plus A, since A ang hinahanap natin. The time is 600 again, pero i-squared natin over 2. Let's see how to plug in into the formula. Next is multiply na muna natin itong dalawa. 16.67 times 600. Garapay tayo ng 500. 5,000 ba? What is 16.67 times 600? 1,000. Daw. Ano ga? Ano? Naka-off mic.
10,000 po.
10,000?
2. 0,0 po.
Okay. Wait lang. Ayan. Plano tayo ng 10,002 plus 600 squared. What? 600 squared.
6,000.
360,000. So, this divided by, sige, mamaya na lang i-divide. This is 300 A, tapos, kinab 360,000. Tapos, 2. Okay, divide na natin sa 2. Pwede din naman. Punayin ka na yun dito sa part na to, ha. So, we have to lang susulatan. Murahin ako na. Let's eliminate these two. To eliminate the 2, kailangan natin mag-multiply ng 2. Both side. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 5,000 times 2. This will be 10,000 is equal to, tapos 2 times 10,200. What is 10,000? 2 times 2. We have 20,004. Okay. Tapos, plus A then 360,000. Again, nag-multiply tayo ng 2 para matanggal natin itong 2 na ito sa baba. Both side. So ito, multiply natin dito, tapos multiply natin ito dito. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 10,000 at saka 20,004 plus, kinopya lang natin yung A and 3,600. Now, we have to transpose the 20,000. So, magkaroon tayo dito ng 10,000 minus 20,004 is equal to A 360,000 further. So, 10,000 minus 20,004, what's the answer? Siyempre, magkakaroon tayo ng kalahati nun. This will be negative 10,004 is equal to A 360,000. Ano gagawin natin ay 360,000? Yes. Para makuha natin yung A, ano gagawin natin sa kanya? Shanley, ano gagawin natin ang susunod ng step? We are finding for A. Therefore, we have to magsalita kayo dyan. Yes, Pearl. Naka-off mic ka.
Ay, i-add po doon sa 10,000?
Yeah, add o iba divide?
Ay, hindi ko po alam.
Yes, Nathan.
Divide po, sir.
So, we have to divide by 360,000. Para lang yung di ba meron kayong 2x is equal to 4. How to get for the x? Di ba, we need to divide by 2. Oh, x is equal to 2. Ganyan lang yun. Lumaki lang yung number A. So, divided by 360,000. Cancel out. So, your A is equal to negative 10,004 over 360,000. What is A? Siyempre, negative yan. Kubyo, what is A? No way. Pasensya na sa inyong mga narinig, mga kapitbahay po yun. No way, anong sagot?
Sir, wait ka.
Hindi-divide lang. Ano ba? O, Manzanero, ay hindi, Marius. Kalyo ka ba dyan? What's the answer?
0.03 po.
Negative 0.03. Ito. Negative 0.03. So, meter per second squared. So, didivide lang natin si 10,004 divided by 360,000. So, magkaroon ngayon ng negative 0.03 meter per second squared. So, negative siya kasi pinapatigil nila. Requested him to stop. Siyempre, the acceleration, bababa din siya. So, yun po yun. O, question, clarification. Wala naman. Wala nakuha. Let's have the seat work. For this seat work, so a car's speed up to 4 km per hour to 55 km per hour to overtake a truck. It requires 15 seconds. What acceleration and distance traveled by a car? So let's first, before kayo ibigay ito, let's identify mo na yung given para ma-identify nyo kung ano ba yung tamang formula na gagamitin natin. The speed of the car is 40 km to 55 km per hour to overtake a truck. Ano to? Ano itong given na to? We are talking about the 40 and the 55. What is this? At i-convert na rin natin para mabilis-bilis ang computation. Ano tong dalawa na to? Ay, number lang to. Casteries.
Velocity po. Initial and final velocity.
Okay, so this is the initial and the final velocity. Your initial is 40 kilometer per hour. Next, the final is equal to 55 kilometer per hour. Yeah. Let's convert. We have 40 kilometer per hour times 1 kilometer 1 hour times mali meter to binibida. This is 1 hour over 3,600. So what's the answer? 1,000 pala to. 11 point 11
11.1111.
Okay, 11.11. So you can have 11.11 meter per seconds. How about the 55?
$15.277.
15.28
27.
28 na to. Rounded up. Okay. Then another given, we will have the time, which is 15 seconds. Now, ang tanong is the acceleration. Find for A. How to find for A if the given is initial, final, and time? What formula are you going to use?
A is equal to B.
Ito,
BF.
isa-isa.
A is equal to BF minus BI over time.
Over time? So,
Apo.
you are talking about ito?
Opo.
Okay, so that's correct. So you're going to nasaan ako? Wala ako. So you're going to use the BF minus BI over time. How to find for the distance? What formula are you going to use to find for the distance? Ano na? To find for the distance, given ang BI, BF, and T. Anyone? Wala na? Wala na yung formula na yan? Yes, Marius. What formula? Wait lang. Sino sasagot? Oh, yes. Okado.
Equation 4 po.
What is the equation for? You can have BI plus BF. Tama?
BF plus BI over 2
Over 2 times time. Okay, so yan yung kailangan, ito yung mga formula na kailangan natin na identify natin. Now, please answer the sequence. Ibigay ko na. The free fall. So, the free fall is when an object is dropped, the object start from rest and gain speed at its fall. So, from the word itself, free fall, galing siya sa taas, papunta sa pababa. This gain in speed indicates that the object accelerate at its fall because of the gravity. Diba, anything na inihagis natin pataas, meron bababa din siya because of the gravity. Kasi wala naman tayong inihagis pataas na nandun talaga siya sa taas unless na lang sumabit. So, the value of the gravity that we will have here is 9.8 meter per seconds. And we will have now the distance. Yung kanina, formula natin, we have BI T plus AT squared. Ngayon, since we are now in the free fall, yung A papalitan natin na G. Ito. Kasi we are talking about the gravity na. So, palitan natin siya ng G. Pero the same as the given, acceleration and gravity are the units is meter per seconds. Pero the gravity has the value of 9.8 meter per seconds. We can also have the final velocity of the falling object can be calculated by the equation Bf squared is equal to Bi squared plus 2Gd. Or you can have Bf is equal to Bi plus gravity times the time. So, ito yung mga formula na pwede natin gamitin. Well, let's have the problem. So, in the problem, meron tayong given dito is sabi dyan is the time of male bungee jumper is freely falling in 1.5 seconds. So, what is the velocity of the jumper at the end of 1.5 seconds? And how far does he fall? Naman siguro yung bungee jumper. Ito yung mga tumatalon galing dun sa taas, pababa. Tapos meron silang nakatali sa paa. Now, let's identify the given or the givens. So, we'll have, syempre, tumalon galing sa taas. Meron tayong TI or initial velocity. What is the initial velocity? This will be 0 meter per second kasi nag-start siya sa taas, tatalon. Now, what is the another given that we will have here is the time, which is 1.5 seconds. Another given, which is invisible, is the gravity, which is 9.8 meter per seconds. So, yun po. So, bakit hindi kasama si gravity sa given, yung G? Kasi, it's automatic na tumalon siya. Since tumalon siya, nagkaroon na siya ng gravity. Kasi pababa. Lahat ng pababa ay may 9.8. Even yung pataas, kapag pataas, ang gravity is negative 9.8. Kasi pataas siya against the gravity. Pero kung siya ay pababa, it's positive 9.8. Anong question? Letter A. What is the velocity of the jumper at the end of 1.5? So, we need to find for BF, the final velocity for the letter A. For the letter B, kailangan natin how far this is. This stands for the letter D. Now, to solve for the letter A, BF, the formula we're going to use is equal to BI plus GT. So, saan siya galing? Ito siya. Kasi bakit yun ang ginamit natin? Kasi given ang initial velocity, given ang time, at given ang gravity. So, yan. So, if we're going to get for the final velocity, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 0 plus 9.8 times 1.5. So, the final velocity will be, what will be the answer? And 1. 0 will still 0. So, mag-aaroon ka lang dito ng 9.8 times 1.5.
14.7 po.
You can have 14.7.
7 po.
This will, tama. 14.7 meter per second. That's per BPM. Next, for the letter B. For the letter B, we are going to find for the B. So, ano gagamitin natin? So, ano ba yung mga given natin? Given natin ay BI, the T, and the G. So, enable to get for this D. Gamit tayo ngayon ng BI. So, ang excited. BIT plus lagay naman GT squared over 2. Ayan. So, yan yung ating formula na gagamitin. Since if we're going to plug, this will be 0. The time is 1.5 plus 9.8 times 1.5 squared over 2. Ito ay mawawala na kasi 0 times 1.5 is 0. 1.57. So, ano na lang gagamitin natin? Ito na lang part na to. So, D is equal to 9.8 times 1.5 squared over 2. What is your D? Anyone? You can have? 7? Are you sure? Squared yun ha, 1.5 squared pa. What's the answer?
11.03 po.
You can have 11.03 meter as the answer. Rounded up to 2 decimal. Okay na? Question. Okay. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina sa if we're going to throw a ball pataas, this will be decreasing velocity. So magkaroon ko ngayon ng ito from 0 here, from 0 papunta doon sa accelerating, pataas siya ng pataas. Yan. So positive, pataas. Pero pagdating doon sa dulo at bababa na siya, ano na siya, decreasing, increasing naman siya. So pagpataas is decreasing velocity kasi hinihila kasi siya ng gravity. Pero pag ang pababa na siya is hinihila naman siya ng tinutulungan siya ng gravity bumaba. So that's why it's increasing velocity. So whatever na kung mapapansin nyo, kung magtotoss kayo ng bola pataas, meron tumitigil siya sa taas. Hindi, kung mapapansin nyo, titigil siya sa taas ng almost a second or 0.00 seconds, something like that. Bigla siyang bababa ulit. So, yun tinatawag na kapag nag-toss ka pataas pag ganyan, dito titigil yung bola, whatever, kung gaano kataas kung gaano kataas yung binato mong bola or gaano kabilis pataas, ganoon din siya kabilis pababa. They are equal. Parehas lang sila ng time ng pagbaba at saka ng time ng pagtaas. Tapos pagdating dun sa dulo, the final velocity will also be 0. So from here, 0, sabihin na natin na dito yung mag-start siya ng mag-count siya ng 1, 2, 3, 4. So pagdating doon, the initial velocity will take also 0 kasi mag-stop na siya. Kasi bigla na lang siya bababa. Magka-count na ulit siya sa pababa. So yun pa yan. So we have here the problem. Sabi dito, a juggler tosses 3 balls at alternately vertically upward. So each ball has initial vertical velocity of 5 meters per second. So how high does each ball rise and how long does each ball remain in the air? Ito yung tinatawag kong tumitigil sa taas, remain in the air. Kasi experimentohan nyo na lang na magbato kayo ng bola pataas. Hindi naman siya, pag na-reach na yung peak na ng taas, titigil talaga siya doon ng ilang seconds para mag-prepare siya bumaba. So, what are the given in the problem? So, magkaroon tayo ng given. So, magkaroon tayo dito ng what is 5 second? 5 meter per second, what is this? Anyone? What is 5 meter per second? Wala. Sige, nagpitigan na naman tayo. Pilimenya. Ay. Ay, ano nga yung 5 meter per second? Nasa natin bilang. Yes, Nathan.
Initial velocity, sir.
Nakalagay naman dyan, no? Initial velocity, 5 meter per second. So, therefore, this is VI is equal to 5 meter per second. Next, another problem which is not indicated in the problem. Another problem. Another given which is not indicated in the problem. Ano yun?
Yung 9.8 po.
Anong tawag tong kay 9.8? This is meter per second. Per second squared. This is 9.8. This is gravity, the letter G. Bakit nagkaroon ng gravity? Kasi nag-hangis ng bola mataas, upward, vertically upward. Ngayon, anong si 9.8? Is this positive o is this negative? Miskamitan.
Positive po.
Positive sa'yo. Miss Okado, is this positive o this negative?
Negative po.
Say negative sa'yo. Oh, bakit yung negative? Kasi pataas. It's against the gravity of the earth. So, yun ang tinatawag. Because of the gravity of the earth, yun yung mga dahilan nyo. So, ito na yun. It's 9.8. Yan. Bakit may problema tayo? Because of the gravity of the earth. Okay. So, that's 9.8. Negative 9.8. So, negative. So, what are going to find? We have to find for A. Siyempre, we have the distance. Kasi, how high is distance? What's letter B? We need to find for the total flight. How long? So, T sub T. Or total flight. T sub T. Total. Yan. Let's have solution. In the solution, meron na tayo dito. Pwede natin gamitin. Meron tayong initial and meron din tayong gravity. So, let's find for the distance. To find for the distance in manipulating the formula, pwede tayong gumamit ng df squared is equal to pi squared plus 2gt. Meron tayo niyan yung kanina. Balikan nyo na lang kung saan galing yan. Meron din yan. So, since titigil siya sa taas, magkakaroon tayo ng final velocity na 0. So, 0 squared is equal to, kasi pag ganyan yan eh, pag ganon. So, remain siya doon sa taas. So, that's why magkakaroon tayo ng final velocity na 0. Initial is 5 squared plus 2, the gravity is 9.8, and we are finding for the D. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 0 is equal to 25 plus 2 times 9.8. What is 2 times 9.8? Negative 2.8 pala ito, sorry. This will be 19.6. So, makakaroon pa magiging negative na to. So, negative 19.6. Then, D. Transpose natin itong 25 din sa kabila. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative 25 is equal to negative 19.6 D. Divide both sides by negative 9.6. Divide both sides by negative 19.6. So, cancel out. So, magkakaroon na tayo dito ng D is equal to negative 25 over negative 9.6. So, your D is equal to what? How many? Anyone? Oh, Kubyo. No way. One point?
$1.2275.
28
27.
meter.
28.
Rounded up na. Taken na 1.28 meter. That's for the letter A. Next is we have for the letter B. So, in the letter B, time of light. So, in the time of light is kukunin natin dito is yung kalahati. So, in this case, ay wala ito sa inyong formula. Ang gagamitin nating formula dito, since wala ito sa given na formula, ako na magbibigay. So, magkaroon dito tayo ng T sub T or total flight is equal to 2T. Then, up. In this case, magkakaroon tayo ng 2. Then, yung multiply natin siya ng VF minus BI over G. This will be equal to 2. Ang ating final is 0 minus yung ating initial is 5 over 9.8. Negative 9.8 rather. Then, this will be equal to, parang dito, pag sinimplify natin, this will be 2, pag sinimplify natin yan, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 1.02 seconds. So, this is your total time of light. Yung pataas lang. Yung kalahati. Okay pa? Iyan yun. Question? Times 2. Okay. So, ito pala yung the total time of light is equal to 1.02 seconds. Why there is 2? Bakit daw may 2? Kasi di ba half yan. Yung kalahati, andito yung kalahati. Yung isa pataas. Tapos yung isa ay pababa. So, pag pinag-add dyan, that is 2 time, dalawang time, 2 flight. Kano kung pataas, siya ay di-divide natin to ng 2. Para, kasi ang tanong is how long does it take to remain in the air? Ano lang siya, kalahati. Kukunin natin siya ng kalahati. So, the letter B, for the half, is equal to 1.02 divided by 2. Magkakaroon ka dito ng 0.51 seconds. Ito yung 0.51 seconds pataas. Pababa, 0.51 din siya. So, pag inad natin, magkakaroon tayo ng 1.02 as the total time of flight.